every sentence
Lock too.
by itself is a work of art.
That's funny. Alright, so I guess it wasn't a gimmick. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. What's up, Squad? It's your Squid, aka the Anxious Squid, here at Anxious Squid Productions. Another Patreon request. You already know what it is. Let's get into it. See if this is turned up all the way. It wasn't, but it is now. Let's get into it. We already watched part 1 of this. It's in my, I might turn it down a little bit actually. It's in but we already watched part 1 of this. It's in my wrestling and rodeo playlist. It was a Patreon request last month, and the 2-parter, like it was October and November. So yeah. Good channel. If you want to watch this video, links right at the bottom of the description.
So many awesomely bad promos, so little time. This week I'm counting down my top 8 favorites. What could be
it's a little bit
not
quite synced, but it's him, not me.
Find out right now. Number 8, Sid Vicious. We're live, pal, and half the brain. Man, both of these promos are so awesome.
I think I remember this one because he's like, can we do that again?
Choose between them.
And Mean Gene's, no, not Mean Gene, JR is like, we're live.
May of 1995. Sid's asked a simple question about those who doubt him. How do you address those skeptics?
Well, the skeptics and all the people have a little bit of... Let me get this again.
Oh, it's live, pal.
Sorry.
To his credit, the master and ruler of the world recovered quickly and delivered a succinct response, even if it temporarily killed the whole psycho vibe he was going for.
That's funny.
It got even more entertaining several years later in WCW, in a 1999 episode of Nitro. Kevin Nash is wearing prosthetic makeup and does a pretty good job making fun of Sid in the ring.
That's funny.
People outsmoke me and outthank me, and yeah, I probably can't get it complete.
Yeah, his booking was questionable, but you can't say he wasn't funny.
Yeah, it's mildly amusing.
It stands no more as Sid interrupted with a mighty retort.
But you know and I know that you're only half the man that I am.
Huh?
And I have half the brain that you do.
Wait, what?
Ooh, man, so close. You were so close. Sid has since claimed that he was only following the script, that it was a line specifically written to make him sound dumb, and he only went through with it because then WCW President Bill Bush asked him to set a good example.
Yeah, not sure about that.
As an esteemed member of the locker room. I mean, you could buy that argument because Sid said it with such conviction, so either WCW willingly sabotaged one of the top guys in the company and Sid went along with it, or just admit it, man.
You fucked up. Yeah.
Week after week, they tried to make me look like a jackass.
Sorry, Sid.
You did that yourself, yeah.
Does not need to be outsourced. Ahmed Johnson in WWF Warzone. The first black Intercontinental Champion in history, Ahmed Johnson
That's interesting.
Had marbles in his mouth, but that's when he was at his best. He was more fun to watch when he was intense, but the trade-off was he lost a lot of his enunciation. But nowhere was his unintentional humor more apparent than the 1998 masterpiece, WWF Warzone.
You want to survive WWF Warzone? Stay away from me. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Though the game has aged horribly due in large part to its terrible control scheme, there's a special place in my heart for Warzone. It was the first WWF game I bought after becoming a fan, and I was freaking pumped about it.
Yeah, nice. I think my first one was like
Nintendo Power article about the game, about 200
Raw vs. SmackDown, or maybe, no, just Bring It, maybe? The one with The Rock on the cover? Just Bring It? I don't know.
Finally released. I loved that game. But as luck would have it, I didn't even get the best version of it. See, the PlayStation version made full use of its capabilities with full-motion videos and high-quality entrance music. The N64 version, which I had no videos of any kind with MIDI-level entrance music. One of the most memorable things about this game were the grudge matches in career mode, which were always preceded by a promo from the wrestler, apparently filmed somewhere in a cave.
There's no holding back this thoroughbred, but since you're obviously too stupid to realize that,
he's literally just reading off a script.
kicking your teeth in.
You can see him staring at the script.
Comes from the master of the Pearl River Plunge.
Listen up, punk. That little ass buddy of yours kept talking to you with the ass whipping I'm gonna give you.
Ahmed's mush-mouth promos and acoustics made for some legendary videos. More than a decade ago, YouTuber Phantom Green, aka Sunnybone, compiled the promos and added humorous subtitles, instantly making the promos more fun to watch.
If you want to step up to play team, bring it on. Cause I forgot to take my medication in the morning, and I'm in the real.
ComEd treatment over the years, but none of it is hilarious as the original. If you haven't done it yet, juice make sugar and check these promos out. You'll be glad you did.
Someone remind me of the comment section, I'll check it out.
Number 6, any Ultimate Warrior promo. Now, before any of you Warrior fans get mad, this is not a knock on the man. This is a form of praise. He didn't cut bad promos. He cut awesomely bad promos. Big difference.
This freaking nature right here is just beginning to swell.
The only problem was trying to figure out which one was the most awesomely bad, so I decided to make his whole...
But that was part of the shtick, right?
Warrior always spoke with a level of intensity, dedication, and commitment that made crowds hang on his every word. The fans will believe in a promo if it looks like the wrestler believes it, and you can tell he truly believed it.
Going all out.
Exactly was he
like there are wrestlers like the Boogeyman that exist, you know?
Well, that's a little harder to decode.
Shove that control into a nosedive, Hulk Hogan, and tell me to do what is rightfully right and wrongfully wrong. What are you gonna do?
Okay.
Bury us now. Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel. Load it with the word.
There's nothing about the Warrior.
See, he's intense. He's into it, though.
And say, oh, that's the one that goes off the rails, or that's the wildest one. They're all wild. They're all batshit insane, but in their own unique way, like snowflakes. Hogan,
like snowflakes.
We're all known for their seemingly coke-influenced speeches.
Still hasn't snowed here yet. It's the 19th of November, and it still hasn't snowed.
The Ultimate Warrior.
Any day now, though.
That the Ultimate Warrior is totally out of control.
Look at his fucking, like, whatever those are.
The Brood's first promo.
The Brock Lesnar muscles.
Also known as the Brood's last promo.
Because the freaks come out at night.
Well, I take that.
That's a bit creepy, Edge.
It wasn't the only time the trio of Gangrel, Edge, and Christian spoke collectively, but after this it might as well have been. This took place on the very first episode of SmackDown in April of 1999. It was their first time on the microphone ever after having just broken away from The Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness. It starts out bad and gets worse.
The Brood initially has not spoken by her own choice, and then later it was forbidden by The Undertaker.
Now, first of all, I love Gangrel. He is one of the nicest guys I've met in wrestling, but this is just not good. His voice has no strength or confidence behind it.
Yeah, he's just like a...
rambling about nothing and everything all at once. It's supposed to sound...
It is a bit weird.
Mysterious, but it comes off like one of my more misguided E-Fed promos from back in the day.
We live our collective lifestyles for who we are and what we believe in. This search.
Okay, that's enough out of you.
Yeah, that was a bit cringy. I'll give you that. That's a cringe.
Great. Future Hall of Famer Edge, can you save this thing?
The power
Nothing from Christian.
lies within us, and it's up to us to find it, and we will become.
That's just really shit script writing as well, though, right? Like, because he's not bad at cutting a promo.
Free of just being a gimmick, to which they retaliate with a bloodbath. But it was nothing compared to the bloodbath that many brain cells went through that night. I was pulling for the Brood hardcore in the beginning. I really was. I thought the gimmick was cool and could have been huge. I was crestfallen.
Yeah, on face value, it's not bad.
Their full potential. Now, Christian and Edge did pretty well for themselves after the fact, but poor Gangrel was never the same after this segment. Number 4, Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Yep. The following is a
Never heard of it.
promotion called International Pro Wrestling, but it's not from Japan or the UK. It features a wrestler named Jeff Farmer, who's not the same guy who would become NWO Sting. And in this promo, Jeff tries to sound fired up and passionate, but he is not. But first, just catch the beginning of this promo and tell me if this didn't inspire a character from a certain regional wrestling company.
Folks, there's Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Jeff, a while back, what a match you had with Motley.
Yep. How do you respond to this blowhard?
Yep.
From that monosyllabic response, you can see the gears quickly turning and
I don't understand the context for that, but alright.
But I don't like it when things aren't going my way. Motley Crue, you turn the tables on me. You turn the tables in a wrong way.
I mean, how are we going to be able to eat lunch if we're not sitting on the right side?
Yeah, if it's upside down.
And you backstab me one way or another, and you cheat me out of what's rightfully mine, that's when I get angry.
You know,
the presenter's like,
I'm not sure
he's not doing a good job here.
Anyway.
Get in the ring with me. This time, I'm going full force.
I mean, this thing's a classic. From the opening to the cliche verbiage to the nervous pauses, it has everything, and it gets funnier every time I see it. And just for a minute, can we show some love to the guy he's feuding with here?
Jeff Farmer wanna challenge me.
Did you hear him?
I heard it.
Get me excited, man.
I've never seemed to go
He was getting into it too.
Maybe because he had a physique that was somehow smaller than mine when I wrestled. But even if his in-ring exploits never get him recognized, this epic promo always will.
You got me mad now.
Number 3.
You've got me
Undertaker,
mad now.
and lizard boots. One of the reasons the Brood's
What?
promo from earlier was so hard was they tried to push this mysterious character, but their tone and body language didn't match what they were saying.
Yeah, they look like squares
One of the reasons
going into a round
Undertaker's
circle.
ministry phase is so memorable is because he did commit to the character. But even then, sometimes it's still not enough.
No one commit to a character more than The Undertaker in his day.
Raw before SummerSlam '99. The Undertaker spent the last several weeks training the Big Show to be a ruthless killer. The Unholy Alliance made their way to the ring, and Taker proceeded to take us all on a little journey.
I had Paul Bear call out to California to some associates of ours at the local 81.
What?
Go on.
Okay, yeah, okay,
Paul
what?
said we're gonna need 2 bikes for a ride into the desert. I want the Big Show only to have enough gas to get to the middle of the desert and not get back. The Big Show's bike runs out of
This is taking a
gas,
while.
and I drove off and left him. He comes walking out with a snake necktie and lizard boots, carrying his Harley Davidson on his shoulder. What used to be known as SummerSlam will now be known as Armageddon, and whoever shows up will be hurt.
Forget anything the
Yeah,
Warriors
this was-
said.
that was
is
a
the
bit
most
rambling and-
nonsensical
Yeah.
promo I've ever heard. For 3 minutes, Taker weaves this story of toughening Show up, leaving him stranded in the middle of the desert in triple-digit heat, but the Big Show comes back 2 days later wearing a snake necktie and lizard boots. The fuck's this guy going on about? Well, I almost forgot the best part. Apparently, Big Show told Taker that he would kill him in his sleep, skin him, and then wear his skin and eat his flesh. Well,
Okay.
Big Show, at least he's resourceful, using the whole body.
I'm gonna cut your flesh off, make a coat out of it, and I will eat your flesh until I find food.
This ridiculous speech was cut off by
Yeah, this
Chris
is-
Jericho, who rightfully called him
Thankfully.
out for being boring and stupid. And can you believe he got heat for saying that? Were they not watching the same promo? Number 2, Scott Steiner math. More than teaming with his brother,
Steiner was a clusterfuck in WWE.
WCW, more than being a former world champion.
From memory.
This to me is Scott
Although the
Steiner's
pay-per-view he debuted,
career.
the pay-per-view that he debuted at, I think it was either Survivor Series, I think it was Survivor Series 2002, might have been SummerSlam, one of those two. It was a really good pay-per-view, had a fucking TLC match in it and all that sort of stuff, but nonetheless.
Say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true.
2 big things stick out in my mind.
Okay.
He went to all the trouble to come up with a math for this, only for the scheduled match between he, Samoa Joe, and Kurt Angle to not even happen.
You take your 33 and a third
This is
chance,
central heating.
minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
But even better, the math adds
What?
up.
Yeah,
But then you
okay.
take my 75% chance of winning. If we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 and 2/3%, I got 141
Presenter is like,
chance of winning at sacrifice.
alright.
Now I wondered, what will be number 1 on this countdown?
What will be number 1 on this countdown? I don't know. Should I know? I don't know. It'll be Katie Vick or something?
That was awesome.
Lex Luger versus an NWA Cyberspace
In his career,
t-shirt.
Lex
What?
Luger had never been good at promos. He wasn't the absolute shits at them, but when trying to take an objective look at his legacy as a wrestler, his words have never been at the forefront. But it wasn't until
Yeah,
the
he was
final
just
years
a-
of his in-ring days that he
like a
was
big
out of the
body
words
to
that
try and
really defined
replace
him to
Hogan with, wasn't he?
fans. A viral sensation well before YouTube was a thing. It's a clip from NWA Cyberspace in 2000 Who Cares. The total package was
2000
found
Who
backstage
Cares.
by their interviewer after what could have been some in-ring scuffle with future opponent Ron Killings.
Mr. Luger, I saw what just happened out there with Ron Killings. I just want to ask you, what are your plans for the next show, Super Bowl Saturday?
Before we go on, can we take a moment to talk about that fucking guy?
Yeah, why is he
nobody
holding the
about him?
thing?
He looks like Steve Carino got fat. They got dressed up after seeing a glimpse of Michael Hayes 15 years in the future. Why would a pimp be conducting this interview? What's this character's backstory? Did he go to journalism school?
Yeah, what's
Maybe
going
he
on?
starts talking, but it's doomed from the start. He can't make it more than
Why has he got a
4
fucking
seconds
cane?
before tripping up.
A bedazzled cane.
Kind of disgusting, despicable Lack of respect. Is that Billy What's-His-Name show booking a match for the total package Lex Luger and Super Brawl?
I can infer that this Billy What's-His-Name is the promoter and or the on-air boss. Either way, it makes Luger look super unprofessional to not know the name of the guy who's theoretically paying him.
Yeah.
Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
Or the name of the show he's being theoretically paid to perform at.
Still, it could be part of the gimmick.
I don't know.
Dude, if you don't know if you'll be paid, why did you take this booking? You're better than that. This wasn't a fight.
Yeah, but that's part of the gimmick, though, isn't it?
It was a fight with the promoter over getting more money.
I'm one of the biggest legends and stars ever this. God! And your t-shirts are too tight too, Billy!
This is the point of
T-shirts
no
are too tight, too.
Luger could have said to save face after forgetting to gimmick his t-shirt so we could rip it off clean and look cool doing it. I don't care how big your muscles are, you ain't getting past that crew neck.
That's
and
funny.
After all that,
Should have just ripped it.
Botch, after unfathomable botch, we wrap it all up with a big crescendo.
Look at me! I'm a total package! I will rip him apart! I'm pissed now!
I don't think
Every sentence
Doors
of this
locked
promo
too.
by itself is a work of art.
That's funny.
All
Alright, so I guess it wasn't a gimmick. Yeah, that's pretty
the
nuts.
Traveling Wolverines, or the audio slave of bad promos.
That's crazy.
WrestleMania 17 of lousy backstage interviews. To me, nothing can top this. It's the cherry on top for the career
Interesting.
of the total package Lex Luger. It is iconic. It is immortal. It may not be able to pay you. Its t-shirts are too tight too. It's one of the biggest legend stars ever this. Yeah! And it's the most awesomely bad wrestling promo of all time. Well, those are my picks, but let me know what promos you
That's
think.
interesting. I think Katie Vick was probably worse. That one with Triple H and Kane and the dead chick and shit. Like,
T-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com. I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.
thanks, mate. I'll see you next time. As always, if you want to watch that video that we just watched without me and without my reaction, go right to the bottom of the description after all the stuff that makes me money. Speaking of money, these guys give me money on a monthly basis. This was a Patreon request by the person circled just there on that list. If you want a request, join my Patreon and send me one, and I'll do it. I'm going to record a bunch more today and all that. That was really interesting. I think there were a couple where I didn't quite get it and whatnot, but yeah, explain the context for me if you can. As I said, I'm gonna get on with my day. I'll see you when I look at you. You'll see me when you look at me. Thanks so much for watching.